Yo, what is the good word, everyone? Welcome into Chatterbox Bearcats. We are back to a game week. Kansas on the road. The Bearcats and the Jayhawks from Lawrence. Today's episode is brought to you by our proud new sponsors, Martino's on Vine. Craving something legendary? Swing by Martino's right on Short Vine. Just steps from the University of Cincinnati, home of the best stromboli. Huge, cheesy, perfectly seasoned dough wrapped around your favorite toppings. Hungry for something even more massive? Try one of their signature 2-foot hoagies, sandwich monstrosities piled high with everything from shaved ribeye to hot Italian sausage with veggies, cheeses, and sauces. Game day, Bearcats games, home or away, it is the place to be. Martino's on Vine, food that satisfies, vibes that fire your day or night up, all just around the corner from campus. My name's Chuck Walter, Eric Lilly, Houdini on the show today, and we had to give a shout to our newest sponsor, Martino's on Vine, who is hosting us for a live Chatterbox Bearcats pre- and post-game show with a little watch party in between for game day. Kansas, Cincinnati, noon, right into the matchup, fellas. But first, we got to show some love. I'm excited. You're excited. The beers will be flowing. The takes will be going before the game, and potential tarps off afterwards if the Bearcats win.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're going to get the full Martino's experience. I've gone to Martino's several times. Big fan of the place. I don't know if I've ever done it. I mean, we're going to get there. What? We're doing the pregame at damn near 11 o'clock. Game won't end till when? 3 o'clock? We're doing a full – I'm going to have to contain the amount of beers that I do drink so my takes don't get too crazy by the end of this thing for the postgame. But Martino's, it's a beautiful establishment. We're going to get the full experience. The food's fantastic. I'm interested. I've never been for an away game. And, I'm hoping we bring some people there. So Martino's, they want us back to continue to do this. So if you're in town, doesn't matter if you're 40 years old, Martino's is for everybody. I've seen 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds in there. So let's get this place packed up and let's possibly beat a Kansas team. I think we can do it if we bring enough people to Martino's.
Young and old, let's make it like a wedding crowd, man. No judgment at Martino's on Saturday for the Kansas game. Lily, the big breakdown from this one is that Kansas still has Jalen Daniels, quarterback, who's been with the team since 2020. My question is how? You just go through the stats. He played 7 games in 2020, 6 in 2021, 9 in 2022, 3 in 2023. Okay, let's say he redshirted. I don't know how you redshirt after 3 games, but 12 in 2024, and here he is in 2025. This is one of the few COVID year players still remaining, the 6-year players that are still around. He's been very good in the past. He's had a very good start to this season, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for a team whose only loss is to Missouri, who is really good after beating South Carolina this past weekend.
Yeah, he's looking like 2022 Jalen Daniels right now with his breakout season where he had 2,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's made a bunch of mistakes in between then and now, though. Last year, 14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Great start to the year with 12-2 against Missouri. He was okay. He's been solid. It's been a little different, though. It's not like he's going 25 for 30 and 300 yards. He is still, 12 for 24, 1 touchdown, stuff like that. I think he's a unique quarterback, and you heard Satterfield talk about, using Samaj Jones in practice to try to simulate some things with Jalen Daniels because he's different than Sorsby. I'm interested to see if we whip out something on defense out of the bye and try to surprise them, because they seem to be kind of humming right now. They put up some serious points against Missouri.
Yeah, Kansas is nice, man. I actually went into work a couple weeks back, and one of the coworkers that I don't know too well was a big-time handicap guy. He's watching the spreads and everything, and he said Kansas may be the team to go with this year when you ride some spreads. They're going to cover a lot of games. They're very undervalued right now. Buy some Kansas stock. So this is a tough one on the road. It's a chance to get back to it. It's a measuring stick game after we figured out that we're at the very least competitive after hanging with Nebraska, who transitive property. We're about as good as Michigan, right? We're about a field goal 4 or 5 points less than Michigan right now, so we'll take that. But transitive property never works. Last we saw with the Cats, a 70-0 win against Northwestern State. Houdini was on the call for that one. I was in the woods with zero service doing an overnight camping trip, which I've done 2 in my life, and the other one was the Miami, Ohio game, Satterfield's first loss as a Bearcats head coach. Yeah, so I got back to society, and I'm like, wait, we lost to Miami, Ohio? It's been how many years? It's been like 2 decades. What the Scott? Hudson, you hosting that show, any takeaways you need to give the Cats fans who have seen Bowling Green and Nebraska tape but did not get a chance to tune into that ass kicking?
Yeah, that's all it was. It was an ass kicking against a JV high school team. It's a great way to pad your stats. I mean, if you look at like QBR rankings right now, like you'll see Sorsby in there at like number 6 in the country, just because he, threw 16 straight completions or whatever it was for 5 touchdowns. And we've played, Bowling Green, and he had 69 yards against Nebraska. So I don't really know if we can make any assumptions based on an FCS drubbing, but hell, hey, it was a good way to go into it. And you get 2 weeks to prepare for Kansas, and Kansas is really good, man. Like it's definitely a dark horse in the Big 12. And if you look at it, like 2023, they went 9-4. They were awesome, and they had a lot of hype going into last season. And Lilly mentioned it. Daniels didn't look nearly as good, but they lost what? They went 5-7. They lost 5 of those single possession games. So they were, a couple of bounces from,
and early. They turned it around second half, right?
Right. Yeah. And I mean, they got throttled, I think, in their last game of the year. But either way, like they were right in with Arizona States of the world. Could have easily won that game. I think they lost by 3. So they were still a really good team, very competitive. They just, they had some mistakes that cost them. But this is a really good team, man. And Lance Leipold, if you look through Kansas, are we going to expect Scott Satterfield to outcoach Lance Leipold? Because I don't know if I can get on that train. Maybe it'll happen. But, I mean, Kansas didn't win more than 3 games since 2008. And then he gets there in his second season, he wins 6. And he goes 9-4, then 5-7. 5-7 historically for Kansas might be one of their best seasons ever. So I think he's a really damn good coach. Maybe Scott can pull a rabbit out of his ass and figure this one out. I think that's the saying. But I'm a little bit worried. I got to be honest.
4.5-point dogs right now on the road in Lawrence, Big 12 opener for the Cats. Kansas is like just about every team in the Big 12 right now. Unfortunately, Cincinnati hasn't done any winning in either of the 2 sports that we do this show on. So we really haven't had the chance to form any rivalries. Now, BYU fans have hopped in and said, boy, you guys are great fans talking about your basketball team this way with all the negative vitriol that you're showing this team. But aside from that, it's been a lot of, keep your heads up, guys. We've been the punching dummies to a certain degree. Nebraska fans and Colorado fans wouldn't have loved this program as much as they did had the Bearcats rolled through town and we were yapping our mouths. But we've just come accustomed to lose in the Big 12. It's just the reality of life as of right now. And because of that, there's not many rich rivalries being formed. I would like to have one with Kansas. I think it'd be a whole lot of fun for Kansas fans to just hate us. Hate us.
I know one that does. My buddy's a diehard KU fan, so I was talking to him a little.
And he hates Cincinnati? Why?
Well, he's a Xavier fan too, so I guess that helps. But he did give me a couple tidbits, Chuck. They're still splitting snaps at left guard and right tackle, trying to figure out who the best guy is there. They're kind of banged up in the defensive backfield. They have 2 guys banged up. They're going to play, but they're hurt. And then one guy's suspended for the first half from a targeting in the West Virginia game. So, and to the everyone Kansas is the hot new name right now because they didn't lose last week, but they beat West Virginia at home, guys. They lost to Missouri, beat West Virginia at home. I don't think that's enough for me to be like, this team is definitely better than Cincinnati. I feel, I'm excited about this game because I think both teams, whoever wins this game is actually going to emerge as that team that oh, is this the surprise Big 12 team? So I think this is going to be a really fun game on Saturday.
It's got to be fun, man. Cincinnati needs a win, and in the worst of ways. One time, Scott Satterfield, please. 4.5.
Yeah, that's please.
It's please. One time, Scott. What is the big matchup that we're looking for? I want a little more balance from UC. I know that Tawi Walker and really looking at it, we haven't had the big play yet from Evan Pryor. Would love to see him really get involved. Royer with the touchdowns, but not with the really receiving yards aside from that big catch against Bowling Green. What are we looking for, though, in terms of something that we really haven't seen through the first three in emergence, I guess we could say? Because we've had the Jeff Caldwell game. We've had the Caleb Goody game. What is this game going to be?
Well, I want to see the receiving core that you just mentioned play against some real talent and get separation. Because like against Nebraska, we didn't see it at all. Sure, we saw against Bowling Green them get some separation, but this Kansas defense, it's hard to judge. Like Lilly said, they gave up 10 points to West Virginia, but West Virginia couldn't score against OU. God love our Bobcats, but they couldn't score against OU. So it's hard to see. They gave up 30 or 42 to Missouri. I would love to see some aerial attacks, deep balls from Sorsby, get Caldwell going, get Goody going, get Cyrus Allen going. That would be fantastic. And don't abandon the run game, man. Like against Nebraska, I'll never get over it. Like we were getting 6.5 a pop minimum. Just hammer them if we can do it. We'll see what happens. I mean, Lilly mentioned that the defense is a little banged up for Kansas, but I think you got to see some deep balls from Sorsby if we want to stick around in this thing.
Kansas has not had the chance. I mentioned that they really probably shouldn't hate Cincinnati. Cincinnati shouldn't really hate Kansas in terms of head-to-head. I'm thinking basketball-wise and can't really remember a time where Cincinnati's even beaten Kansas in my lifetime. And the same goes for football in terms of matchups. Last time the Cats played Kansas was year one of Scott Satterfield, and that was one of those games where it was like, hey, how is this guy going to make it past year one? Like, this does not appear to be working. Here we are year three, and we're still asking that question. Will it work? Will it not? This is a very telling game to see if it works, Lilly. I mean, this is a big, big game for Scott Satterfield. A big stretch of games coming up.
Yep. If you win this game, you can start selling the hype around the team that they created over the offseason. If you lose it, it just keeps extending. Like and how we talk about
it doesn't keep extending, Lilly. It's a ticking time bomb. If you keep losing at a certain point, there's no extending. Like maybe we'll get it next year. No, like it's on the path to being over if you can't start winning.
Yeah, it's just been miserable the last couple of years with both sports because it's felt like the same thing over and over. And I do think this is like a turning point road game for Satterfield because, you had the Nebraska one, you got that environment out of your system. You got the new offensive line and receivers to get some reps in with like a raucous environment. This is going to be, it's going to be loud. It's a sellout. It's their new stadium, but it's not going to be like, that top Nebraska environment. It'll be one level lower. So I would just love to Houdini's point. I would love to just see the offense look better in an environment like that. I need to see the rushing game, the wide receivers. I need to see it all, just the balance. Try to, just show you can improve the offense from those last, 4 games last year? And then the Nebraska game. We have not seen this team like perform offensively in a long time.
And I want to see a coaching masterclass, because so many times after these games, we look to certain moments, whether it's granted against Nebraska, the deep ball there, that's more on Sorsby than a Satterfield draw up, you would think. But there's always something that you can point to. End of half executions. Lots of times it's late game clock management. There have just been issues constantly where it's like, can we coach a clean ball game and get it done from start to finish? And this is one of those contests where you'd love to see Cincy just come out and be clicking in all facets, and the punt coverage looked like it did against Nebraska. The rushing attacks opened up and just cruise to a victory and showcase that we're legit this year. Unfortunately, there hasn't been many cruisings to victories lately. Predictions-wise, it's hard to pick Cincinnati anymore. fellas. They've beaten me down to the point where it's hard to pick them even on our own shows, but I'm going to take the 4.5. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to. We're going to be at Martino's. We're going to get a group bet going. We might do some parlays to win like $100,000. We'll figure. We'll make magic happen at Martino's. I promise you that. But I mean, when's the last time that we've watched a game and like after the game we've just been like Satterfield just outcoached the opponent? Like he just diced them up. Like I can't even recall a time where I've thought that.
Maybe Arizona State, Cam Scattaboo.
Maybe, but it's like they had the backup
Northwestern
quarterback.
State.
Yeah, Northwestern State. You're right. He outcoached that guy. He really did. And then Lilly mentioned it, which is kind of a funny tidbit, is that Lance Leipold said this is the best team that they've faced this season. They've already lost to Missouri by 11 on the road. So technically, their head coach is even saying hammer UC plus 4.5. We're actually probably 4.5 points worse than them. So you got to take it for what it is. Hammer the Cats.
Hammer the Cats, and by his transitive property there, since he's a top 20 team that can hang in the SEC, apparently. Lilly, you like the 4.5? You like the money line? How are you going to be playing this, assuming that you get a small little wager on this thing?
Oh, man. I just wouldn't touch 4.5 personally, but if it's 6, 5.5, 6.5, it's I'm all in on the Cats there. I think we've got a really good shot to win this. If it was on a neutral field, I really think this would be like, Kansas -2, something like that. So, and just another, not to like derail with the question or anything, but another couple things I noticed here is Cincinnati's given up 0 sacks this year. We all know that. Kansas leads the Big 12 in sacks. They have 13. They sacked Missouri 4 times. They've sacked everybody all year. Their D-line is good. Their linebackers are good. I really want to try to see Sorsby start out hot and attack the DBs while that guy's suspended in the first half. And for once, take a lead and control the game.
One thing I want to see is how the cornerbacks look. And I guess the secondary in particular against a passer that is super efficient. And we saw how efficient Minnie Mahomes was, Jackson Raiola, in game 1. I want to see what the secondary looks like in terms of, again, racing to the ball, which Collard and Peak and Golday. Cats have a nice defense in that regard. But in terms of guarding, in coverage, because the issue is they play so much zone coverage and they sag so much off the line of scrimmage. You just don't want them to be picked apart. But in terms of like Matthew McDoom and the other quarterbacks that this team has, how do we feel about that unit specifically?
I feel better about it than last year, like 100%. I still don't know enough with this team. They kind of seem small to me. I'm happy that Logan Wilson got a week off because he was banged up for the Northwestern game. I think the thing that I am looking for most in that, like, I know this is kind of switching the question, but back to Kansas's offensive line, we have to generate some pressure here or get, if we don't want to pressure Daniels because we're scared of things that could happen, execute the plan and keep him at bay or make him roll out left or something. Give the DBs a shot because we really honestly have not pressured very well this year, and we didn't really last year. So Dante Corleone's questionable. I think that's a big talking point for this game, guys. I think if Corleone plays and they have a couple questionable offensive linemen, our game plan is completely different. If he's out, this is a good opportunity for somebody to like make a name for themselves because we do have depth at that spot. Just right now, they all feel like the same player to me. Like we don't know who the second best guy is. So at some point, we got to find out, right?
Yeah, Hudson.
Corleone better play. Let me just put that in there right now. Corleone's out, then we're the spread better jump to like 9.5 before I even touch it. My thing is with the way that we schematically run a defense, just in general, where we try to keep everybody in front of them and they kind of dink and dunk. We saw it in the Nebraska game. We cannot have – it's really difficult to win games. Like I'm just looking at the time of possession against Nebraska. Nebraska had the ball for 40 minutes to our 20. Like, I think there's got to be something from
Bowling
a
Green
strategy
controlled too.
standpoint. It's like there's you can't have that and expect to win games and have your defense on the field for 40 minutes a game. Like,
Not
I
if you
almost
lose a
think,
turnover battle, right?
yeah, exactly. So, like, I think that's going to be just from a strategic standpoint. I know they're like the 3-3-5 thing. It's like, do we start looking at that and saying maybe we do some more exotic blitzing, things like that, to get the ball out of the quarterback's hand and this dink and dunk shit? Because that's really tough to do, man. Like, that's something that was going to concern me against a 6-year quarterback too.
I'm still waiting for the Cats to have an identity under Scott Satterfield, and I have no idea because we thought it was going to be the rushing attack, right? That's always kind of what a Scott Satterfield team does. They can run the football, and I guess with Corey Kiner, that was absolutely the case. But this year's team specifically, as you can hear in the background, the dogs are they're all over Cats plus 4.5. They're like, money line, tell them money line, Chuck. Specifically though, like what is this team's strength? Do we know that yet? Have we seen enough to know what this team is supposed to be? Are we supposed to be balanced? That's a question.
Might find out Saturday.
You don't know
I don't
yet?
think we've seen enough. I don't think we've
No,
seen
we
enough.
really don't. Like, it's
Yeah.
that's why it's been such a frustrating month to me. Like, we lost to Nebraska by 3, and it doesn't feel good at all because we didn't do anything for 3 quarters, and nobody really looked good except, Sorsby on the ground and the defense. And then the defense didn't look good versus Bowling Green. So it's like anything we have seen be good, we've also seen it be horrible. So we're just sitting here in purgatory, waiting for something great to happen. And I hope it happens on Saturday, Chuck.
Man, the Cats have been waiting for an opportunity in basketball for something great to happen since before the pandemic. That's the last time UC's been to the NCAA tournament. Year 5 of Wes Miller. Can they get back there this season? Practice has begun. The team has formed. They're forming their bond, and they're ready to go. With the schedule being fully released now, Houdini, I'll put you on the hot seat first. Cats open up the Big 12 slate with Houston at home. Senior day is against BYU, but overall the schedule, what did you think in terms of the non-conference and in terms of who they're playing in the conference? I guess the first 4 look a lot different than last year's, much more manageable out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, non-con, at least we're getting some tough ones, especially Louisville over at Heritage Bank. So you're at least getting tested there. You got Clemson, Dayton, Georgia, Xavier, of course. You're seeing some of it, not a bunch of true road games in that slate like me and Niehaus talked about. But as far as the conference schedule, I mean, hell, welcome to the Big 12, man. Like, no matter how they laid this thing out, it wasn't going to be easy. To start out with Kelvin Sampson at home is a fun one, to say the least. I was hoping to God he'd pull a Bruce Pearl, Kelvin Sampson. I'm sick and tired of his shit. We get destroyed by Houston every damn time, but lo and behold, he's back and they're loaded again. So yeah, I mean, you run down it, you play Houston twice in that BYU game at the end of the season. I'm sure there'll be a lot of implications there with that loaded roster too. But it's interesting because of the transfers and everything. It's so hard to dictate or project what these teams are going to be, but you can assume Big 12 play, these teams are going to be very difficult. So it is what it is with the Big 12, man.
Lily, your takeaways?
I like starting with Houston at home. And I like it even more because we play West Virginia and UCF right after that. We've had some tough starts the last 2 years. I think this might be the easiest, believe it or not. Although those 2 games are on the road, the West Virginia UCF games. I think this is, again, I will do a breakdown on the Big 12 schedules. I think this is probably one of the easier Big 12 schedules. We have a stretch of West Virginia at home, UCF at home, Kansas State away, Utah at home. That's about as easy as you can get in the Big 12, which, it's still not easy. And we don't play Houston twice. We do play Houston twice. We don't play like Arizona twice. We don't play Kansas twice this year. So you think we have to put it together this year, guys? We have to.
No shit. You think if the Cats beat Houston, we storm the floor and we put Wes Wes Miller on, basically make a human throne where we put him on our shoulders. And because, I mean, he need like Rudy Rudiger. We need one of those moments so bad where he can finally take down. He got a Xavier moment last year. We need a Houston moment, man. Kelvin Sampson has taken off the belt and just whooped Wes's ass. I mean, it's what? Are we talking 14-0 at this point? Like, it's because there were tournament games to start too, where he was going 0-3 multiple years. It is bad how he cannot get over the hump with that team. And Houston's not been losing much, but is this the year, Hudson, that he finally gets one done
against Houston? I mean, shit. Let's push the brakes a little.
Let's beat
bit.
Clemson and Greenville first,
yeah,
and then
we don't need to beat Houston. That would be fucking awesome if we did. I'd be ecstatic. Now, you talking about putting Wes on your shoulders, that might be something else. Because if I recall correctly, you had an apology letter written to Scott Satterfield, and then he proceeded to lose 5 straight. So, let's pump the brakes there. I don't know if that's, good mojo there. But, I'm not anticipating we're going to beat Houston at all this season. But you can always hope, man. We'll see. We'll at least know what we are coming into conference play. I'll say that. We have a few tough out-of-conference games where we'll actually see where we stack up. At least they'll get some time playing together, because I know we talked about continuity last year. I mean, this team is brand new. You're going to expect it's going to take some time for them to gel and mesh. So I don't know by January 3rd, Happy New Year, with Kelvin Sampson, that they're going to have it all figured out yet. But we'll see. We'll cross our fingers.
There's a couple chances for that big moment, like before Houston. I mean, I'm not talking Georgia. I'm not talking Clemson, Dayton, but winning at Xavier, I know they're not going to be good this year, but that would be like a moment for Wes. And then if you can, Louisville, neutral court, it's going to be a rowdy environment, national TV. Like, that's a huge opportunity right there. It just as big as the Houston game, in my opinion, in terms of like, look, we're different this year. But we haven't won a game like that in so long that it's hard to envision, really.
I've come into every single season since I was in about since really I remembered Cats basketball in 1999. And I've come in every single season thinking, and early on in my fandom, it was just because that was what you expected. I thought Final Four. 2005 rolls around. Cats end up being like 7 seeds some of these seasons, losing to Kentucky, losing to Illinois, whatever. But I still said Final Four. The JUCO teams coming with Mick Cronin, Final Four. I don't say Final Four anymore. I did last year. I said it. I don't say it anymore. I just want to get back to the NCAA tournament, and I don't believe it, fellas. I mean, talk me into why I should believe, I guess Corey Evans, but why I should believe, because Lilly last year was like, you got to believe in the culture. Every single player left. There was no culture. There hasn't been a culture. Why should I believe, if I'm a season ticket holder or someone doing this show, that because I've made a fool of myself many times saying takes that were just asinine, that I truly believed in. But why should I not give the take that the Cats just are, look, they got a lame duck coach, and they're in a situation where they just need him off the books? Why should I think any differently, Lilly? I mean, someone sell me.
I think this is the issue. So the positive here is it's not the same team as last year. We have one player returning, right? But that isn't just like reason for blind optimism. But anybody who is being an optimist about this team, which, will be me here soon, probably, is just new players. The roster makes sense. And maybe the guys that were like bogging down the team the last year or two were really bogging it down. Maybe these new guys just figure it out. The thing is, I just don't know if our out of conference is good enough to really find out. Other than that Louisville game, maybe Georgia. So it's hard for me to really sell positivity, Chuck. But like, if you look at Chom, you got a rich man's Aziz there. He's probably going to be way better than him.
Yeah, and they beat us in the crown. So
if you look at Baba Miller, you're like, Wes's best team here was with Landers Nolly at the 4. And now Baba Miller is not Landers Nolly. He's not anywhere near him as the type of player, but he's not a 5 like lock-in, like Reynolds, like all these guys, Page, that we're playing at the 4 that don't make any sense, completely tank our offense. They give us problems on defense because they're guarding actual wings. Baba Miller is a wing who's tall. So like that's, to me, that is the positive, like, believe in this team because it makes more sense in the modern game. But again, we got to wait and see. It's like getting a blank slate in your 5th year.
Man.
It's very weird as a fan.
We've been so destroyed by roster construction the last few seasons that's what we're pointing to this year. Like, the roster makes sense.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. It's Corey Evans. And first off, Lilly, the disrespect to Halvine. We got 2 returning players. Okay, the Frenchman, he is back as well with Day Thomas. But it's Corey Evans, Chuck. He's the one actually picking these players, it seems. I'm sure he's obviously consulting with Wes, but that seems to be the biggest issue with these teams. It's like, wait a minute, all of a sudden you're in late January and you're like, what the hell is this team? What is this roster? And Corey Evans seems to handpick these guys. We saw what the Thunder did, some of the draft picks that he's been, involved in. And he's talking. I don't know if you've seen him on Twitter lately. All of a sudden he's tweeting a bunch. He's talking in like haikus. He's like writing poems about Buck Harris. He's like, in the darkest of times is when his defensive ability shines the most. And you'll see, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't know what he's saying, but I love it. So that's the reason. That's the hope you have. Because I don't know if Wes Miller, X's and O's, is going to beat anybody. But if he has the talent and he seems to get the guys to buy in, at least to an extent, until the train comes off the tracks. So that's really what I'm hanging my hat on, is our guy, Corey Evans.
Yeah, we cannot have the train come off the tracks this season. It's been I would say a funeral home at Fifth Third the last few seasons, but last year was just, man, by the end of the year, it was a boo fest. You honestly felt bad for Wes, to where it was just like, we don't want it to be this way. But at the same time, we can't blame anyone for booing because it's been so ugly for so long now. And any other coach in UC history, you would have assumed that would have gotten the boot potentially. But then you look at Mick Cronin, and he had, 4 seasons to miss the NCAA tournament, and completely different scenario. And he's an alumni. We get it. But this is such, saying it's a massive year for Wes is an understatement. And it's just stupid podcast banter. But this is huge for Corey Evans' career. Let's not just talk about Wes. He made a gamble leaving the NBA rank and coming to a college that has a coach that has to be on the hot seat, you would think, and linking with him. There's no job if there's no Wes, right? So this is huge for Corey Evans, fellas.
Speaking of booze, Chuck, we got Dan Skillings coming back January 28th. 4 months and 5 days from this moment. Do we think we'll have a boo fest that night, or do you think we'll do a little like one of those guys?
Golf
what are we
clap?
thinking?
I don't know. Wes's first recruit, had some good seasons. Last year, everyone was terrible. I don't know. I just trying to be optimistic, but it's hard when you lose your leading scorer that you actually wanted to retain, because Wes Miller, his plan was to bring back Jizzle James, and we lose him, and we go the international pool to pick up a couple of guys late that we hope are ballers and can play at this level. But until we see it, we don't know. And it's just it's a complete wild card in the antithesis of what last season was, Hudson, where we went in so confident, the continuity, and it backfired so bad to the point where we're just like, you know what? Bring it on. A 5th-year head coach going in with just no culture and no players returning from his prior season.
It's a win-win. We've talked about it. It's a win-win. Either this team surprises us and is awesome and we make the tournament, or we're going to be searching for a new head coach by the end of the season. I think it's pretty simple. I think that's guaranteed. If we don't make the tournament, Wes Miller, that'll be his last season as the Cincinnati men's basketball coach. As far as, I think, Lilly, you were saying we're going to boo Dan Skillings. Were the fans going to boo Dan Skillings? Is that the question?
Nah.
Yes.
I'm going to guess the student section is going to annihilate him. They're going to go after him. They're going to be doing like TikTok dancing and whatnot. But I think generally it won't be
TikTok
too
logo
bad.
like on a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they'll be going after him. They will, and he'll enjoy it. I don't think there's any, hard will between Dan Skillings. It just didn't work out.
The red sweater crowd like us though, and in the upper deck or whatever. It's golf claps or just ignore it. I'm not like, throwing any booze his way. Yeah.
I mean, it is a big season though for Corey Evans too. Like I was just thinking, like usually you jump off a sinking ship. Corey Evans jumped into it. He was like, "Let me get on that ship. I'm going to patch up these holes. We'll see if those holes are fixable." That's what we'll see this year.
All right, some of the things I'm super excited about that I want to get into real quick on the Bearcats basketball side of things would be obviously the size overall. The question is, will this size make them a good rebounding team? Will they be physical? Will it be a team that uses their size to more so protect the rim and alter shots? Will they use their size to get buckets down low? What is the most likely of those statements, Lilly, in terms of them being able to use the size to score on the block, to protect the rim, or to be a good rebounding team? Or can all three be cohesive?
So I don't think we're going to be a good rebounding team. That's one of the
Our
things.
identity's just, it's toast, man.
But this team should be a top 15 defense in the country. Like last year, it was top 25. It just didn't feel like it. It felt like whenever we needed a stop, we didn't get one. And I think I told Niehaus it was the worst top 25 defense I've ever seen in my life, because it was just, if you're a top 25 defense, you should be able to get a stop, like in those crucial moments. There is no excuse for this team not to be like almost elite or elite defensively. Our size will really help with rim protection. That's my answer. Cham showed it in his freshman season at UCF. He got better as the season went on. He's taller than Aziz. He's longer than Aziz. If you watch his highlights on YouTube, you will see some moments where he doesn't just jump right in the air on a pump fake. He's got a little, patience, and he understands, it's you're guarding the rim, not trying to block the shot. And then you have Baba Miller, who is a secondary rim protector. He's 6'11" power forward. Jalen Haynes isn't like a rim protector, but beefy. I want to see Baba Miller and Haynes at the same time. So when Haynes is down there, Baba's there to swat. And then you have elite perimeter defenders, more than one. You've got Sincere Harris. You've got Day Thomas. It's just, there's
Kriisa.
Options all over the Kriisa isn't a bad defender, isn't a good defender, but he's got that edge that we want our team to have. He's smart. I just think we should.
How do you think Abayev's defense is going to be?
I'm just going to assume it's going to be bad, and then hopefully he surprises me.
You think Abayev's going to be scoring this year, Hudson? What do you think? He came here to make the NBA after a season.
He better be scoring. I'm going to assume his defense is going to be disgusting. I feel like we're going to see some backdoor layups on him, which is expected as a freshman. And I don't know if he, based on the fact that he's I want to go to the NBA, a lot of those guys, they don't really focus on defense. I hope with the defensive team around him, we can make up for that. And I'm assuming Wes Miller is going to, get in his grill about, defensive side of the floor is very important type thing.
Yes,
but I'm sure he'll struggle on that side, especially because he's lengthy. He's not super strong yet. But I assume, like Lilly said, he'll get better throughout the year. But he's got to score. If he's not scoring, then we're in trouble. I think he's got to have double digits right out of the gate, essentially, and hopefully a little bit more than that. Cherry on top.
Yeah, I think the Cats can afford it if Baba is better than expected, and Kerr remains healthy, and Day someone that can hit you with double figures, and Celestine is maybe someone that can knock down a few threes. If you can get some of that, maybe you can survive with him just being a rotation dude, equivalent to what Cumberland was as a freshman, where he was good. He could go off for 15 on Makura's head, but he wasn't NBA ready after freshman year. We're hoping that Sean Abayev is, but they need contributions from him. If he's just a freshman that is Jermaine Lawrence and you can't even stick him out there because he can't hang, then it's a different story. But I think we've seen enough of Abayev on the floor with some of the best players in the world, his age, Boozer and DeBonsta and all those guys in the USA World Game and McDonald's All-American Game, that at the very least, he's going to be able to score. He's got some James Harden in him, man. And he's going to be able to put the ball in the basket from, 25 feet.
And I'm not really worried about the defense in certain lineups. Like if Abayev's out there with Day, Harris, Baba, and Chum, it's like, great. Get your buckets, dude. Like we got you on defense. Just be in the right spot. Like you don't have to be.
Use your length.
Yeah.
The offense, like let's see somebody put the ball in the basket. Like that's what this team has needed for a long damn time. Like Lilly said, it's like the defense. Sure, we will take it if he's decent, but there's enough guys around him. Like the Wes Miller's defenses haven't been that bad. We just haven't been able to put the ball in the damn basket to save our lives. Maybe hit a couple of threes. What was it, Lilly? We didn't finish at the top like 125 in the last like 15 years. It's
20
hard to
years.
do. 20. Jesus.
2004 was the last time we had a decent offense.
It's got to be this year, dude. There's shooters everywhere. It would be truly shocking to not crack the top 120. Come on.
Saturday, Martino's. It's the place to be. It's Chatterbox Bearcats live post game from the bar. They got food. Hudson is going to be doing a selfie session at 10:50. Lilly is doing a wing eating contest at halftime with myself. He's learning about this for the first time now. But no, the options are limitless. We're going to treat it like a playground, respectfully, obviously. We're going to keep the place clean, but we're going to have a good time. And hopefully the beers are flowing. The Cats are scoring. 4.5 is cashed. And we do the Macarena after the Bearcats take down the Jayhawks in Lawrence. Oh, baby. Scott Satterfield, give it to me one time. Final thoughts, and we'll see you at Martino's. Pre-game starting at 11, and we'll be there throughout post-game as well to really get it going on a Saturday in Clifton.
My final thoughts are this. Everybody, Friday night, drink some water. Saturday morning, wake up, drink a little more water. And then when you get to Martino's, you'll be able to drink a couple more beers. Be safe. You got to stay hydrated. And we're going to beat the Jayhawks.
We're going to beat the Jayhawks. Get your electrolytes in, too. Lilly missed a massive step there. Your electrolytes, all that water's not going to do shit. You got to get the sodium in there, okay? The magnesium, it's massive. Okay, get that in your system. Meet us at Martino's bright and early. We'll have a couple of buckets of beer for you, and we're gonna have a fun show, man. And we're probably gonna win. Hell, we're going to win. I'm gonna guarantee it right now.
We're gonna win, and I guarantee you're gonna get some good Italian-American classics like wings, salads, pastas, pizzas, loaded fries, desserts, you name it. Whether it's light, whether it's hearty, whether it's shareable with friends, or whether you want just a big feast, it'll be there for you at Martino's. We'll see you on Saturday. It's the Bearcats and the Jayhawks. Huge game for Scott and company. Let's do it, everyone. Peace.